appearing in his 13th Smackoff. It is the one and only Mark in Hollywood. Mark, what's up, dude?
Jim! It's a beautiful day, as you can see in Hollywood. Let me get something out of the way right quick, though. Yes, I live up here now. I'm part of the temporarily unhoused. One too many bets on Penn State and one too many Chauncey Billups poker games, and the next thing I know, I'm roommates with IRA. How's that for jungle caramel? But Jim, it's not all bad news. Now that I live up here in Mount Hollywood, I get to see all of the carved plastic butt implanted socialites that take selfies up here every day. If James in Portland were here, his tidy whities would already be crusted over. But speaking of shooting blanks, hey V, I'm pretty sure I saw your wannabe influencer wife up here taking pics for the gram so she can peddle her branded plus side moo-moos. Jim, you gotta love how this tweaker, right? He tries to convince the whole jungle that he doesn't have a thing for the fats when his wife needed a personal forklift to get up here. But look, V, I'm a solutions oriented guy, all right? I'm not here to help, I'm here to hurt. If you do have a problem with the fats, why not holler at Amber in Portland? She's fit, she's funny, and she gives a hell of a Chewbacca trombone. A Chewbacca trombone is the same thing as a rusty trombone, but when given to you by an unkempt Wookiee-like Portland woman. But the two clones that you would never see hiking up here is Shawnee the Cablin Asian and Caleb in Green Bay, or as I like to refer to them as shaved testicle heads. Jim, imagine those two translucent gelatinous blobs just rolling up the hill, profusely sweating out Crisco and estrogen. But on the bright side, maybe that experience will toughen Shawnee up so he won't get turned inside out by Nick the clone at his pressers. And Caleb, where the hell have you been? I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It's been great going through 2 years without having to hear you on national radio whine about how many restraining orders you've had against OnlyFans models and Jack in the Box drive-through employees. But speaking of going MIA, Rick, bro, I understand Walrus's disappearing act, but why are your fat fish head on the back of a milk carton? When your nemesis Vic is running around the jungle living his best life. You're supposed to be a school principal, and yet you're letting your personal class clown run around the hallways, spray painting the lockers, and slunk pooing toilets? All while you're hiding under your tiny little desk? It doesn't make any sense. And it's not like Vic is operating under all cylinders either. One too many raincoat-free wrestling matches with escorts in Tijuana. A syphilis by Broadway. Oh, man. Looks like Halloween has made it to the top of the mountain. Look at this dude. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We can get into the spirit of things. Jason Voorhees, so intimidating. Question. Isn't it true that you're not some crazy machete-wielding psychopath, but really some stupid kid who sucked at swimming, drowned in a lake, blamed it on two camp counselors that were getting busy wrestling, and then had to have your mommy come and clean up your mess? Oh my gosh, the parallels to Brad and Corona cannot be so much obvious. He is also a former washed swimmer who resents other people that have an active sex life. He's basically drowned during the last Smackoff when his phone crapped out. He got butthurt and blamed it on the show. And from that point on, he had to call his breathless road dog Reggie to come write a script for him. The only obvious difference between Brad and Jason is that, well, Voorhees wields a threatening knife, and Bradley wields a prosthetic rubadonga to accentuate his banana hammock. Oh my gosh, look who it is. The Nightmare on Elm Street himself, Frederick Krueger. Hey, Krueger, let me ask you a question. Your whole shtick is showing up where you're not wanted, right? Like crashing people's dreams, getting into their bedrooms, their private places, and you really are starved for attention, it seems. Just like that pub hound, Lef in Laguna. Oh my God, because Lef also goes where he's not wanted, flying helicopters above broadcast like a psycho, invading the studio. And just like Freddy here, who dragged the dead carcass of Johnny Depp around his bedroom ceiling, Lef dragged the old, tired carcasses of the clones that did the Sports Illustrated cover into a Smackoff call so the audience wouldn't be fixated by his pizza-faced grill. 1, 2, here's a gimmick for you. 3, 4, Lef's a little gimme whore. 5, 6, Lef's a hoe ass trick. 7, 8, he's gained a ton of weight. 9, 10, Lef buys his friends. Oh, and finally, the man himself, Michael Myers. Little known fact about Michael Myers, Jim. He's the only OG slasher to wear someone else's merch. This is not his face from an accident. This is actually a Captain Kirk mask. And it reminds me of that Guinness chugging, chowder loving, punk ass Jim Harbaugh slurping, all time Fugazi clone, Mark in Boston. Talk about a guy wearing someone else's face, Jim. Mark started his jungle career as a knockoff Eye of Freddy, whining about how Jim Treshel and OSU's cheating scandal rocked college. That aged well. He then bounces to Detroit on his Detroit fandom, and upon arriving in Boston, began dropping his Oz while cocking his cod down Southie, then started jock sniffing the Pats quarterback, who coincidentally also wears a fake face, Tom Brady, moved to Tampa but kept his Boston gloss, supporting his lying, cheating scumbag Wolverines, and on top of all of that, he wears a disguise and slithers his way into the Lorelei Inn in Wisco for the Smackoff on a former champ's territory because once again, he realized it was the only way he could win by wearing someone else's face. Three dudes that are supposedly be scary, other clones that are supposed to be scary, and they want to climb this mountain. But it doesn't matter. You can zoom in from exotic locales. You can zoom in with AI special effects. You can zoom in from the growlers in the Northwest, the hobnobs in Arizona, the backstabbing ownership at the Lorelei. You can zoom in from the Greco-Roman wrestlers at the Irishman. It's all futile, suckers, because the Smackoff Mountain you're trying to climb, the Smackoff Mountain that I'm standing on right now, the Smackoff Mountain that I will be on the top of by the end of this thing, it's named after me. So in the immortal words of Mark in Hollywood,
Wow, Mark in Hollywood. No wonder the dude wanted to go first, looking to wire the field. Never seen anything like that. I mean, that is so wild. So we've never done this before. We have never had clones zoom in for a Smackoff before. You don't know what to expect, and then that's what you get out of the box. Man, that was amazing. Mark in Hollywood. It's like a one-man Broadway show. Well, with all the extras. Or a one-man Hollywood show. A one-man horror show. Wow, dude. Big, big ups. Major ups.